Now, I know you mentioned kind of offline before we recorded a little bit about like Maslow's hierarchy and how that applies to really what you're doing. So, yeah, talk to me about how maybe even define what it is for our audience, and then how does that come into play with your marketing, your people, and some of those aspects that you deal with regularly.
Yeah. So every person in a leadership role at Mission, which we say is mostly everybody, but I guess starting with like our functional management and above teams have been taking training or have been through training to study a lot of different topics, but always kind of based on Maslow's hierarchy. So Maslow's hierarchy of needs basically starts with creating physiological safety. So are you safe? Are you fed? Do you have shelter? Is there any immediate threat to your existence? So physiological needs, safety needs, belonging, respect, and a sense of purpose. And so you go up first and foremost, the bottom, it's a pyramid. So the bottom of the pyramid is physiological safety, belonging, respect, and a sense of purpose. We talk through that at team meetings. We talk through it when there's a conflict, so conflict resolution. Personally, I was working through like, if you're working through team dynamics and trying to understand how is your team feeling for certain things, it literally comes up in conversations with my boss. Like, well, do you think they're like, what if you walked through the hierarchy? Do you feel like there's a sense of belonging? Do you think there's been disrespect that has happened that maybe you know about or you don't? So not just for my team, but our team can use that as a framework to say, what is the environment that I'm creating? And if every human needs these things, how are we helping each other achieve it? And so, of course, you want to reach the top, right? You want to make sure that you've got a sense of purpose in what you're doing. You're respected. You're creating a team environment that's a sense of belonging. I think that can go beyond just the four walls of Mission and out into community. So if I'm working with a customer, do they feel safe here? Do they feel respected? Do they feel like we're with them on this team for their project and we're going to help see it through? And there's a sense of purpose for them to work with us. It really can apply beyond just even your immediate teamwork. Can apply in family life, just all different. I mean,
totally.
It's a common structure. And if you start framing things using that thought or that kind of framework, it can really help you identify for yourself and for others, or at least a conversation point, like working through whatever challenges you're presented with.
Yeah, and that's so interesting. As you were talking, it made me think, I've been doing this marketing thing for a little over 20 years now. I've heard a lot of strategies, a lot of ideas, and like I remember, Maslow's hierarchy of needs for like, I don't know.
Psych class.
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking, was it high school? Was it junior high? Was it, where? Anyway, but I'll be honest, this is one of the first times I've kind of heard it implemented, from a business/marketing perspective, which is genius, because a lot of the times, somebody might be upset or whatever about one thing, but they don't realize until they kind of lash out on a completely separate thing, but they don't realize it was, started as a seed in something completely different. And so, I could definitely see how keeping a pulse on that, on people's hierarchy of needs would be so valuable. That's so cool. I'm going to be thinking about that for a while now. I like that.
Yeah, thanks. I can't take credit for it, but it was our team, our team's training. So, but then I was like, this could apply directly to the way you approach your marketing, right?
Totally. And it helps, I don't know, ground people. And it's a framework. I think people are easy. We like frameworks and systems where we can kind of plug things in, right? So if we're creating a new marketing campaign, if we have those hierarchy of needs at least in the back of our head, if not on paper somewhere, then that's a pretty, beneficial structure to follow.
For sure.